We're here. We live.
We're live. All right, way to go. Hey, Daphne, I just want to call out and everyone to notice that we're wearing these beautiful Grown Women Growing Well t-shirts this morning. They're fitted for women because we are a show for women. Men,
Yeah.
you can wear them if you like a little waist cincher in your t-shirt. It's all right. We won't judge. But if you are looking for a GW squared t-shirt or hat, we've got caps, we have beanies on our website available for you now.
Yeah. Link
Um,
below.
yeah, link below. Thanks everybody for being here today. Today we have Ted Prodromo. Thank you, Ted, for that pronunciation coaching. Ted is the author of The Ultimate Guide to LinkedIn for Business. He's a LinkedIn coach. I've been on his show about LinkedIn a few times and attended several of your coaching sessions, Ted. And we're very grateful for you being here.
Hey, thanks for having me. LinkedIn is
Yeah.
a mystery, isn't it? Nobody can figure it out.
It's a secret thing. It's a secret thing.
Secret society.
Yeah. We've all figured out we hate those LinkedIn messages that say, "Would you like 10,000 more dollars in income this month?" But we haven't figured out why people won't quit sending them.
Yes. I see we have a lot in common. Do you need help with LinkedIn? I get that one all the time. Like, what do we have in common? Why would I need LinkedIn help?
Like I wrote the book on it. Thanks.
3 books on it.
What's going on with your business? None of yours. That's
I
a
really
definite.
always want to say that. None ya.
Yeah.
That's what like
Yeah, they
I
come
No,
around
no.
and insult you like, hey, you I looked at your profile. We have some suggestions how you can improve it. Like, oh, thanks. Nice to meet you too.
right. Gosh. And then there's the ever-present bots.
Yeah.
Automation, like I've gotten sold that. I actually bought into it once and I didn't think that the way the company I bought through did it, I thought they did a great job with it. But then it seems like LinkedIn is really hating that right now.
They're really concerned about the user experience. Actually, when I wrote my second book, someone at LinkedIn, one of the senior vice presidents, found me in a Google alert talking about LinkedIn. He actually scheduled a call with me. He says, "You make a living teaching LinkedIn. Why do people need help with LinkedIn?" And they invited me down to headquarters like numerous times to pick my brain. So it's pretty
Wow.
fascinating that LinkedIn is like, they're aware, they want that user experience. They don't want people to get spammed. But how do you stop it?
I don't think you can, but it's like anything. If you're selling me something I want to buy, it's no longer spam, right?
Right.
So, now, is your approach more of from that, right? Try and find the people who really want what you have to offer, or what's your what's your approach to this whole LinkedIn?
Well, years ago, I was one of those spammers. About 10 years ago, they had some automation where you could actually view people's profiles. So I would change my headline to like, if I'm going to target attorneys, I would change it to something I can help attorneys get better clients without spending money on advertising or something. I'd change my headline to that. Then with the software, you could view profiles. So I'd search for attorneys in San Francisco area, and I would literally view 1,000 profiles a day. This is
Wow.
before LinkedIn caught on to all this. And then, some of them would see that I viewed their profile. They'd read my headline and they would try and connect with me. I got clients like crazy. But then LinkedIn said, you can't do that.
Right.
But I
Exactly.
wasn't sending them messages. I was just viewing their profile. And then they get notified that I viewed their profile. They'd see my headline that, oh, I can help attorneys get more clients. So it was spamming in a way, but not aggressive spamming.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you had a choice. They had a choice whether or not to contact
Right. I wasn't sending those messages. Hey, what's your credit card number? Let's start working together.
you. There we go. Let's get the important stuff out of the way first.
Right.
What do you got for me?
And that's
But
what.
Daphne, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head there. Like, how do you go about sending these messages or being available on LinkedIn? Because everybody's there for business. It's not a shocker, right? But how do you go about it while offering a choice?
Yeah, that's the what's going on right now. There's all these aggressive people. They're treating it like a robocalling device. They're just blasting messages, telemarketing, cold call people till someone says yes. And it's not what LinkedIn's for. LinkedIn's a networking site. But when I start working with clients, first thing we do, we get on a Zoom call. It says, okay, read your profile to me, read your headline. I said, would you say that to anybody face to face if you were talking to one person? Like, no, I would never say that. I said, why do you have it as your headline? Or their about section. The about section, I say, is like the inside flap on a book. It's kind of telling a story about the book. It should be telling a story about you and who you help and how you help them. And they read it out loud and it's all about them. It's like me. I went to this school and I have this much experience. I've sold $1 million and it's like all about them. I said, would you actually say that to a person if you met at a conference or a networking event? And they're like, no. Well, then why would you put it in your LinkedIn profile? It's like copywriting. Yeah. Roberta, you've done copywriting courses. You're writing to one person. Thousands of people may read it, but you pretend you're talking to one person. And it works so well when you do that on LinkedIn because people are relieved. Oh, God, he's not spamming me. He's not trying to sell me anything. He really wants to get to know me. That's kind of mind-boggling in a way.
It is, but Daphne and I have talked about live networking here a couple times. And one of the things about live networking is the person who is literally only there to see, okay, I wonder if Ted can buy from me. Let me find out quick. Ted. So, people do it live too. It's not just online.
Right.
You want more business? And if you say no, they go on to the next person, right? So I guess for that, we should be grateful these people show us their intentions up front.
Yeah. Now I don't accept invitations. If they're starting the sales pitch in the invitation, I'm like, no, because I don't want to be part of this. You're not going to provide any value to me or my network. But,
yeah. Because I with having podcaster in my bio, I get a lot of promoters and I've got guests. And no, how about we just hook up first?
Yeah. So when I reach out to people, I hardly ever reach out to people unless it's like people I meet on shows like this. If someone interviews me or I saw them on someone else's podcast, I'll reach out. Hey, I saw you on Roberta's podcast. You did a great job. I'd love to connect with you. And you just start a conversation and build a relationship. Sales come further down the road. But everybody's, I don't have time to build relationships. That's what business is all about, relationships. You get great referrals from relationships.
It helps you stay front of mind.
Yeah.
Right. But that's the key to networking. And because networking takes some work. I mean, but then business ownership takes work. So.
Mm-hmm.
And what's kind of frustrating, I work with a lot of people and I say, what's your marketing budget? How much money do you spend on marketing every month? They say, I don't have any money to spend on marketing. So they go on LinkedIn and they send all these sales pitch messages. And then they wonder why they don't get good clients. You may get a client here and there, but usually those nightmare clients and like they're desperate. Right. They'll fall for your sales pitch.
I think the only way, and I'm curious what you think about this, Ted. We had another lady on the show who does very well off LinkedIn. And she literally posts every day. And she posts her writing. And it's fun. I love her writing. She can be serious too, but she's got a great style, right? You can really see her in that writing. And she's done very well with people. She connects, but then they start reading her stuff. And then, so she's using that content that's so much her to be the business card, if you will, or the relationship builder, if you will.
That's exactly what I do. When I write my emails, I send to my list. My assistant posts them on LinkedIn as an article. And they also post them as a status update. And they post them on my company page. So they post them in 3 different places on LinkedIn.
Okay. I'm writing that down. So your emails you're posting as an article?
Yep. And nobody reads articles anymore. I swear. They used to get thousands of views and LinkedIn kind of killed that. But I still put it there because it shows up in Google searches sometimes. because that's outside of LinkedIn. And
And
also,
people
when
do
somebody
read
looks at my
articles
profile,
there.
says you've written 152 articles, like,
Yeah.
oh, this guy knows what he's talking about. He's an active user.
Okay, so you're posting on your personal as an article, then as a post, and then on your business page.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And then I put it
And
on medium.com. I have an account there, and I'm starting a Substack account. So I'm just putting my emails, because I write very personal emails. I tell stories, and I used to talk about, real facts. Here's how you do this on LinkedIn. Click here, click here. And like, for years I did that. And I'm like, this is so freaking boring. So I just started telling stories about, struggles in my business or successes in my business or people I've worked with that are doing well and other people that don't take action. I just put it all out there.
Okay. And you're putting that on Medium as well? Because I always take mine for me when I post on Medium, which I haven't done in a while because I just get rando followers on Medium. Which, okay, whatever, I guess. If you're doing what you're doing, it's not like it's any extra work.
It just gets in Google. Yeah, Medium's not as good as it was a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
But I did get a check for 26 cents last week.
Nice. That's it. Ted's retiring, everybody.
So, what the heck?
That's awesome. So
Somebody's reading it.
With Substack, then, are you thinking of doing a paid newsletter on Substack, or are you just putting it on there for more SEO type?
I'm still kind of figuring out. I'm working with a lot of people. I realize most people I work with are over 50 and they've been laid off or aged out of their careers like I was. So I'm just kind of trying to get away from the technical stuff of LinkedIn and business building and more about, hey, I just became a grandfather and I'd love to retire, but I want to keep working. I want to stay engaged. So there's a huge audience out there right now.
Yeah.
And I haven't figured out how I'm going to set up coaching or anything or what I'm going to do with it. But it's like I've been doing LinkedIn full time for 10 years and online marketing for 20 years. And I'm tired. It's getting harder and harder. There's so much noise out there.
Yeah. I think that's it. It just seems more and more crowded.
But what I like about working with people that did business before the internet existed, we did relationships. We had our Rolodex. Literally, that was our life. And we built relationships and we'd call someone, hey, I need someone that does this. Do you know anybody? And they'll say, oh yeah, they'll check with their network. And that stuff works better than ever right now. But it's just hard to keep in touch with all these people all the time.
It is. Because you go to because we were at an event, before year's end. It was a teaching us how to network event when you came to Houston.
Yep.
And they were talking about, setting aside certain portion of your week out, however you want to schedule it, of calling people, hey, how you doing, emailing, and that sort of thing. Yeah. And it's like, man, what do you do when you're in the middle of like right now, I got major projects that take quite a bit of time. And I am mentally spent by the time I hit my cutoff time at the end of the day. Yeah. So there hasn't been any networking done. Mm-hmm. Maybe an occasional call or something of that nature. So it almost feels like more of a to-do, and you hate those.
You can kind of trigger that in a way. Mm-hmm. Like saying happy birthday on LinkedIn still works really well.
Okay.
So people I worked with 10, 20 years ago even, I would just kind of say happy birthday. And then my assistant added this did you do anything exciting on your birthday? Ask a question, open-ended question. And a lot of people reply. But then when they see that, it triggers the LinkedIn algorithm. So they're back in your news feed and they see your content. Because the way it works, like you probably know on Facebook or LinkedIn, if you don't interact with someone for a long time, you don't see their stuff anymore.
Oh, yeah. They go away.
So you just go, oh, I haven't seen Daphne post in a long time. So I went and look at your profile and then I'll start seeing your content again.
Okay. Got a question for you. Is LinkedIn still organic?
Yeah, I just had a good discussion about that. One of my clients, they do high-end coaching for financial advisors. and we're posting content. They have incredible webinars, incredible education, and we're posting organically, and they get like no traction anymore. Very, very little,
Okay.
because there's so much noise. But if you get in front of the right people, they'll see it. They may not like it and comment, but they are engaging with that content and now are attending their webinars.
Okay.
So the algorithm, I don't know, they used to give us a lot more data too, if you had the premium account.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't give us that much information anymore. So you really have to use tracking links to see if people actually did sign up from your posts from LinkedIn.
Okay. Because LinkedIn is still being touted in certain marketing folks that are selling, courses and things like that, as the
Right.
last organic search that the algorithm hasn't taken over as it's done on the other platforms like Instagram and Facebook.
That's why, I work with financial advisors and attorneys. I say, do you ever get business from LinkedIn? So if I'm going to hire a financial advisor, they're going to manage my life savings. Would you want to go to the yellow pages or just search Google for a random person?
No.
But these financial advisors, yeah, I do get people reach out to me on LinkedIn. They aren't calling from, I'd call on my friends, say, hey, who are you using to manage your money? Are you happy with them? And then go to LinkedIn and search for them. But some of these people say people randomly pick them off LinkedIn and Google.
It depends on the generation too. Like we start analog because that's where we grew up.
Yeah.
The next generation lower than us, they start digital.
Mm-hmm.
And then they ask the question.
They'll go to Reddit and look for a financial advisor.
Sure. Yeah.
Can you imagine? But they can't imagine asking. That's what
Right.
always blows my mind. Like it happened to me all the time when I was in the mortgage business. Now I work with a lot more people my age, but they would text me. Is it okay if I call you and ask you? I'm like, that's why I'm sitting here. Right. Like, or text me, can you let me know this or that? Like they don't want to interrupt you or bother you. So looking at you on LinkedIn or Facebook or wherever is their version of finding out if they even want to talk to you beforehand.
Isn't it weird? Like our best friend will text them and say, hey, you want to schedule time to talk? Instead of just calling them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, your very best friends.
Yeah.
I don't want to interrupt you with a phone call.
I know.
No, I've gotten to that point because I'll still, Roberta, hey, you available? Because often you're not. And a phone call is just not what we need right then. Because you're going to jump in the middle of this texting, no. Call you in 20.
Yeah. Or you just don't answer if they do call. Just say, hey, I'll get back to you or something.
Right.
Yeah. But then you're in that whole weird voicemail thing.
Well, people leave voicemails?
I have one friend that always leaves a voicemail. Always. My grandparents always leave voicemails. But even in business now, people don't leave voicemails anymore.
Right.
It's the missed call is the voicemail, which I find really frustrating.
Mm-hmm. So that's the challenge with all of this, and LinkedIn especially. How do you engage with people on LinkedIn and build trust? So I always kind of I did SEO for years for companies, and I did it on my own. So I kind of go with that approach. Let them find me. Let them find my contact information or find my content. If they like what I'm saying, they like the stuff I'm putting out there, they'll reach out to me. And a lot of my business comes from being guests on shows like this. I've written 4 books in 8 years. I've been on hundreds of interviews. And I realized about a year ago, like, I don't have a spreadsheet with every time I've been on some show. So I just searched Ted Prodromou podcast or something. I can't remember exactly the search, but I found all the shows that people had posted.
Then. Great.
And my assistant has them in a spreadsheet. Now we're putting them on my website. And people say, oh, wow, this guy's been on a lot of big shows. And then they invite me to be on their show. Then they get to know, like, and trust me more than my LinkedIn profile.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on that. I'm starting down that trail of putting effort into getting on shows. I think I'm using Podseeker.
Yeah. A friend of mine gave me a great idea yesterday.
What's that?
He's been on a show. The guy's had 400 guests. And I was on this guy's show too. So he said, He had his assistant go through his website and he put it all in the spreadsheet. All 400 guests that were on that show. So now he's reaching out on LinkedIn. He's saying, hey, we were both on Jurgen's podcast. What did you enjoy most? But I'd love to interview you on my podcast.
Okay.
And this
That's
guy
a
has
good
a really great podcast. So now you have to find all these great guests. You connect, interview them. They invite you to get on their podcast. And it spreads like wildfire.
Yeah, I mean, it's that whole Ted and I are both students of Perry Marshall's, but it's that whole thing that Perry talks about. Okay, they saw you over here. Like, take my case. People saw me on your show. I was on your show on LinkedIn. So if they follow you on LinkedIn, they've seen me. Then they can see my profile if they want to see, right? See, my profile is optimized where it's not, Roberta won multiple awards during her time as a mortgage banker. And now,
Oh, I want to hire her.
yeah, yay. She won an award.
Yeah. Sounds like a bad date.
Doesn't it? So a bad dating profile, right? You're going to love me so much. But okay, so they go to my profile and it says, this is who I help and it's them. Then they can see, in that search or in my posting that I have this podcast, to see what I'm like. They can see my videos. They can go on my Facebook and see what I've written there. So you just have this conglomeration of things that reinforce, okay, this is what that person sounds like all the time. This is what they're talking about. This is who they're around. I mean, that's one of the things about networking. If I know someone from networking and I really trust them and they say, hey, call Ted, he's really good at this, I'm going to say, okay, I'm calling Ted right now.
Right.
So if people see me on your show or you on my show, it's that credibility of, okay.
Right.
And you can see the person and tell they're not, sort of tell they're not crazy. They could be crazy behind the scenes, but.
Right.
Yeah. As soon as they get you on that strategy call,
Right.
the cuckoo comes out.
All these things people are doing for 10 years, the strategy call. Everybody knows what that is now. It's a sales pitch.
Yeah.
Have you ever
Tell me
had
your
someone on
problem.
your show that was like, you didn't expect them? They went on a tangent. I was interviewing one person once. He went on a whole political rant. Like, this is not a political show.
No,
We have not had that.
And he was a good friend.
we haven't had that one. I did run into when I was at the Bitcoin conference. I was getting interviews, and what I really didn't like was when I would set up, because usually they've got the information, they've got the subject matter experts manning the booths.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, I just walked up to you and asked you. So I don't expect you to give me an interview then, because this is a shift. You're on duty right now. This is a shift for you. And your job is to talk to as many people. If I'm actually going to buy something, that sort of thing. So I get it. Hey, well, could you come back at so-and-so? Great. Yeah. I'll see you at 3. You come back and it's the marketing guy. And before there was this interesting guy that you had a give and take with, that was answering real questions, and you're just talking about the love of this thing. And now I got a marketing guy that's pitching. And so I finished the interview because, again, the time was set aside. So you're not going to be a jerk.
Yeah.
But it's like, man, no way. I wanted to talk to this guy because he was interesting to talk to and loved Bitcoin. You are trying to hustle a trading platform.
Yeah.
And I'm a hodler. I don't trade Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to tell other people to trade Bitcoin. So,
Right.
And if you haven't
Especially
picked that
now.
up by the questions I'm asking, I don't know what to tell you. Read the room.
Yeah.
So,
I get it. You have to ask for the sale, but it's timing. You got to build a relationship with people. Don't
Right.
bait and switch. You want to interview one person and they send you into the marketing person.
exactly. But even when you're talking to a marketing person, because there was this one company, the marketing guy was there, but I still got to talk to the engineer. So he's actually there literally writing stuff on a legal pad, showing it to the engineer, right? But at least he had enough respect to keep it. I was gathering information.
Mm-hmm.
Don't push this particular product.
Yeah.
You don't keep it general about the thing we're talking about.
Yeah.
Sure, you got to slip in 1 or 2, not a problem. I'm going to
Yeah.
say the name of the brand a couple of times, and if I got one and all that stuff. But
Right.
this is not what we're,
What
as
we're
they say,
there
a
for.
company podcast. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
I think
kind of
if you're
what's my approach to LinkedIn. It's more of a slow and steady build a relationship, and people say, I don't have time for that, or we got to close 20 deals a week. So, well, then you need everyone on your team doing the same thing, building relationships. It's not about blasting LinkedIn until you get a sale, because you get terrible customers.
oh yeah, you get those folks. I learned that recovering from life insurance. Um and I could close, I could get anyone life insurance. And that's the last thing you want to be, because then that's all you get. You get the folks that are sick, that are old, that are very difficult to close. They're coming to see you because they can't get life insurance anywhere else.
Right.
Right. And that's you want those rare and few in between.
It's
Yeah.
the 80-20. They're the ones who just take up
Oh
all
yeah.
your time and you make less
And
money from them.
right. And most of the time you can't get them life insurance. If you've seen multiple agents, it's a reason.
hmm
If I'm the fourth or fifth person, come on now. No.
Yeah.
But I will say this on LinkedIn, and I think I'm this way in real life too. If you're just gonna sell me something, then just sell it to me. Don't say, "Hey, Roberta, I saw your profile. You look very accomplished. What are your business goals?" I'm like, you don't give a shit about my business goals, and you didn't read my profile because you're trying to sell me mortgage stuff, which was my previous career. So no, you didn't read it. And why don't you just say what you want?
Yeah.
I kind of would like one or the other, right? Like, okay, if you want to hang out and really get to know me, fine. That's cool. But if you just want to sell me something, like Ted, if you popped in my thing and said, "Hey, I've got this book. I see you're, top a high ticket seller on LinkedIn, and this is the book. If you want a copy, here's my link."
Yeah.
Okay, I respect that more than if you came into my DMs and were like, "Oh, I noticed your profile and blah blah," and then
So do
you
you get a lot of guys hitting on you?
Oh man.
it's worse on Facebook.
I
Instagram
hear
is
so much
where
about women on LinkedIn. They're just, people are sending pictures to them. You know what kind of pictures in their
oh man,
LinkedIn?
no, not those. That hasn't happened, but on
Is that really going
Instagram,
to get you on do
as soon
business
as they
with me?
say, "Where are you from?" or "Are you married?" Right? Seriously, dude? Seriously? The
Yeah.
profile says what I do. This is a business profile on Instagram. It is not my personal. I don't have a personal Instagram. It's strictly talking. One is talking. I got one that's dedicated to the podcast, and then the other is dedicated to the smart money chick persona. Why are you asking if I'm married?
Right.
Where do you live? Seriously, I'm gonna tell you.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put that out there where I live. No.
Yeah.
What you
I had
doing?
one the
Oh,
other
yeah.
day posting this big long post about, "I've asked you so many times to be my friend, and why won't you be my friend? And if you were kind," and I'm like, dude,
Ooh. Mm-mm.
ugh, block.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because as soon as it gets started, how old are you? That block. So
Yeah.
Ted, I never get to the pictures. So I don't get those pics. It never gets that far because I block. No.
Well, I had one
Wrong.
woman reach out to me because I said, "Well, how can I stop people from hitting on me on LinkedIn?" And she was like a senior vice president at Oracle or something. So I look at her profile pictures, and it's like she's out on an evening gown with like her boobs hanging out, literally in her dress. I'm like, well, probably you should change your profile picture.
Yeah.
I'm
We'll start
thinking
there.
headshot.
That's one thing I really don't understand on LinkedIn. Okay. Facebook, whatever, right? We're all there with our kids and the cat and the,
Right.
beach or whatever. But LinkedIn is 100% professional. I don't need to see, like, why isn't this photograph professional?
Yeah.
And it's surprising who doesn't have a professional one there. Like you said, she's a VP at Oracle. What are you doing?
Right. Your iPhone is so good now. You can take incredible pictures. Just stand in front of a blank wall and have somebody take your picture.
A new grad, I can get it if he's still got his frat pictures up there and he's chugging and stuff like that. Or it's a cutoff of him with his arm around somebody. Okay, I get it. Nobody's told you yet.
Half drunk at the wedding. With a cropped out ex-wife.
Right. Or even better, like you said, picture with the dog. No.
This is your
Dog
first
pictures.
impression people are getting of you from a professional standpoint. You got to have a good picture, have a really compelling headline under your name, and a about section that tells a story about you. I found a couple of good ones where the guy talks about the problem. He works with millennials and he says that they have brain fog and they can't stay focused and blah, blah, blah. They're working all the time. And he talks about that in his profile. He says he states the problem in the about section, paints a picture of what if your life was like this? You woke up without brain fog and you had purpose from your career. And he says, I had problems. He had a near life experience and he was struggling. And then he talks about how he figured it out for himself and how I can help you figure it out. So he's told that story. That's one thing about LinkedIn too. There was 2 million coaches in February 2020. I spoke at an event in Denver. I pulled up this slide. 2 million coaches. There's 6.5 million now.
It's crazy.
And they're all just general. I'm a coach. I'm a divorce coach. I'm a whatever.
Life
They
coach.
don't have any experience. They didn't go through anything that they're trying to coach you on. They really aren't qualified. And you can fill in any industry, any job at this point. People are just pretending, I can help you. I'm a mortgage broker. I got certified. I got my license.
Right.
I'm a realtor. I passed the test.
There's more realtors than there are houses listed, although that might be changing pretty soon.
Especially if BlackRock has their way.
Yeah.
But
so
I have people, what's your experience? What's your life experience? And if you're going to go and be a consultant, you have to have experience doing that.
Yeah.
Work in that industry for 20 years and then become an expert in that.
What do you tell people on their headline? So I see that quite a bit, what you just said. John James, mortgage broker. Right. Sue Kramer, realtor. Like, how do you help people? What should they do there to designate themselves differently than others?
I'm always testing mine different ways. One way is to put your skills there. You kind of put in like the different kinds of skills. So you're a mortgage broker or something, but have very specific skills why you're different than the millions of other mortgage brokers. Or you say, I help millennials overcome brain fog and have a life of purpose. I think that's one kind of what Eugene's is, something similar to that.
Mm-hmm. So it's still good to have the I help in the.
I've been testing not using the I help part, but just talk about who you help and how you help them. Because as they're skimming by, most people are on their phones now. Yeah. So they're going to see mostly the front half of that headline too.
So
treat it like an ad. Like I did Google ads for years because of Perry Marshall.
Right.
The whole purpose of that ad is to get people to click on the ad. It's not to sell your product.
So instead of saying
your headlines to get people to stop scrolling, click on your profile, and read what the content that's in there.
Okay, so you're trying to get beyond I help. Like I help in this one particular product that I help Gen X women understand Bitcoin, and I think to live their best financial life or something of that nature. So how do you get rid of I help?
Yeah, because that's why I try to flip it around. Instead of talking about yourself, flip it around. Mm-hmm. So like confused by Bitcoin. I started learning about Bitcoin recently. I'm a hodl and I learned all about that stuff. I knew nothing. Okay. So kind of
that's a good way to flip that around.
Try not without saying I. Try not to use I in your profile. So you're like deep into the about section where it's like, I can help you, blah, blah, blah.
Okay. Yeah, because in the profiles
or taking the mystery out of something like something's going to make them stop scrolling and want to click and read your profile.
Okay.
I like that you turned it to a question. Confused about Bitcoin? No, I can keep moving. Confused about Bitcoin? You have no idea how confused I am. I'm going to click.
Because like 70% of people are on the mobile app right here and they're like scrolling away. So you got to get them to stop scrolling on the LinkedIn app and read the rest of your profile. And then have a call to action and schedule time with me. Or I wish they could put clickable links in their profile in the about section, but they still can't.
No, don't want that yet.
one thing that's working really well on LinkedIn that nobody knows about. So, sometimes you're having actually a good chat conversation with somebody. So what do? You saying you have a good thing going, hey, let's schedule some time to talk. You send them your calendar link, and like a week or two later, you finally talk. So you have this great conversation going, a lot of momentum, and then you like have a 2-week break or a week break. You can actually click a button, the little camera in the mobile app, and do a live call, like a Zoom call it's built into LinkedIn now.
That's
Okay.
nice.
You just say, hey, you got 5 minutes. 9 times out of 10, they say, yeah, because they've got a good conversation. They're interested in you. And you can literally jump on Zoom right there. So you can use Zoom or the LinkedIn app and literally do a call like this. Like you close deals in seconds instead of losing that momentum, have to rebuild the momentum.
Right. Go back in. Yeah, that's a really good idea.
And a lot of times if you just say, hey, you got a minute? Because they're interested. We have a good conversation going. And it works really well.
Especially like you're saying, they're interested. You've got a good conversation going. I mean, it's like live networking. You wouldn't, if you and I were having a coffee and chit chatting about something, my coaching, your coaching, you wouldn't be afraid to say to me, hey, if you're interested, we can talk about how to work together.
Right. Exactly. And then, those networking events, or you're at a conference and you got the person that's me trying to sell you. You're like, no, thanks. But if you do have a real, genuine conversation going, yeah, it's natural. I say, just pretend you're talking to this person face to face at Starbucks. What would you say? How would you act? And it's like blows their mind. Like, oh, I never thought of it that way.
Right.
Right.
We're
Well, you
human
could also
beings
be more
doing business with
discriminating
human
about
beings.
you would also be more discriminating about who you talk to. You're not going to talk to 100 people at Starbucks or everybody in Starbucks. You can be like, okay.
I was at a conference a couple of years ago. It was like 500 people. And there's one guy running around handing out his business card. I want to get your business card. He says, my goal is to get 500 business cards from this 500 person event.
Why?
That's exactly what we're saying. We're like, we're looking at a group of us were talking. We all gave him his business card and never heard from the guy again.
No, because working business cards is horrible. I've gotten one of those QR code business cards. So it's a hard card and you scan it. One, it's memorable, and I immediately get your information back. But I will tell you, I don't do I call you the next day or within 48 hours or whatever the networking rule is. But I will put a note there. But I don't get everybody's card, and I don't show everybody my card.
Right.
Because I do walk up and I want to hear what you do first. Because we may just have a great conversation and then move on. There's no connect there.
So what I do is I connect with that person immediately. If they're that night at the hotel room, I go to my room, I'll reach out. Hey, thanks for the great conversation today. Let's connect on LinkedIn.
Exactly.
And tell them you met at that event. And they, oh yeah, I remember, Ted.
Okay.
Also, I'll send you, I'll ask for appointments and links there. If I can't get you there.
Yeah.
So I will get a person that evening. So as I said, I don't take 500 cards. I don't go to everybody and let's see your card and all that. Because I want to send you a link and I want to network.
LinkedIn app, you can just do it gives you the little QR code and you can just scan each other's phones and connect with each other.
That's interesting. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
No, didn't either.
So I'm going to go on my LinkedIn app. Where's the QR code?
Let's see. It's one of those things they like to move around.
Right.
I'll be at a conference. They used to have that thing where if you're at a conference, you could like turn on this thing and it would let everybody connect right then, but they took that away.
That's
it was helpful.
So up at the top, there's a little speech bubble kind of thing here. Let's see. Nope, they moved it.
Of course. Oh, well. Well, I'll Google that later because that sounds really interesting.
Yeah. Under my network. Yeah, it's under my network now.
My network. Manage my network?
And nope, it's not there either. Uh-oh, we'll have to figure that one out.
All right, I will Google that
'Cause we don't have
afterwards.
as many live events. Now they're starting to come back.
Yes.
Thank
with a
God.
vengeance.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
But with the price of airline tickets, you keep it local.
Right.
I was just browsing for tickets. They're insane.
Yeah. I'm going to visit my sister in Cleveland. Tickets are like $1,500 round trip.
Right,
Go
right.
to Cleveland? Is that like the penalty for wanting to go to Cleveland?
Houston to Memphis is like $600 on Southwest.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're gouging. They're
And it's
having
all
record
day.
profits.
And it's an all-day flight. It's a killer. You don't get there to midnight. You leave at like 6 in the morning and you get there at midnight because they got you laying over and flying to West Hale and then finally getting there.
One of those. Yeah.
We just looked for Europe, and it's not bad. It's still under.
But you better book.
Europe's cheap. I don't know why.
Huh.
Better book.
I keep telling a certain someone in my house that, but he likes to wait. What
Okay.
isn't cheap in Europe right now is the car. At the beginning of the year, the rental cars are around $3,000, and then we found one for $2,000, and now they're back up to $4,000.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
We're
I'm
getting
like-
just gouged in every form. And these companies have record profits.
Yeah, definitely.
So I guess
Maybe
because
the,
everybody wants to get out, so it's
Yeah.
Well, I think I've done the flying for a little bit anyway. And
No, but my whole
events
philosophy
are
of
local.
LinkedIn is it's people doing business with people. Don't try to sell, build relationships, get to know each other. You have long-term customers. They refer great clients to you.
Right. Because they're fit for you.
Right. And if you need a lot of leads, run ads. LinkedIn ads are really cheap right now.
Are they?
I'm running them for a couple clients. The financial advisor coach, we're getting clicks for $2 to $3 a click.
Wow.
To get them into
That's
a
pretty
paid
good.
webinar.
Okay.
That's
pretty good.
interesting.
Yeah.
So do the ads work like Facebook ads or
You target who you want to target, the very specific job title or companies. You can even target just a company and
Mhm.
certain job titles within that company.
okay? Can you only target job title, or can you?
No. You can do there's sponsored emails also where you can send targeted messages to specific people. But you can target a lot of different criteria.
Huh? Which does better,
Location.
sponsored in mail or in the feed, or does it just depend?
Well, we've been testing both. The in-mails, people are getting bombarded with so many messages now. But it's like 25 cents an email. And if they don't look at it or open it, you don't have to pay.
Huh?
Yeah. Okay.
Or you do
That's fair.
sponsored content that you boost, kind of like the
Right.
Facebook.
And you're not sure which one is performing better.
I think combination of both is actually LinkedIn reached out to me too. We were just spending $500 a month on these ads to test. And a rep reached out to me, gave me all kinds of great tips.
Do share.
Yeah. So basically, yes, you got testing and tracking. Tracking is huge. But you can do these custom audiences like Facebook. You can upload your email list of customers, and then they'll create lookalike customer lists for you to target. Lots of great
Okay.
features. They're finally figuring it out after all these
Okay.
years.
So if I go on LinkedIn and I pick the people that I'm connected with that I want to boost my ads to, what do I just do? A custom audience, and I can pick a group of my own people, or
You can
they're
upload your email. You can target your network on LinkedIn.
okay.
Or if you have a customer, your email list, you can upload and then create a lookalike audience. Based on LinkedIn, will say, here's people that we think are similar. You can
Okay.
target those people.
Do I have to do a lookalike? Can I target the emails that I uploaded?
No, you can target just the email list.
Okay. I think I might try that because I've got a lot of comments from my primary target are realtors, and they're getting just blasted. Like, don't even look at their inbox.
Right.
So there's only so much time in a day to go click on people's and comment and stuff so they see my post.
Yeah.
But if I can boost posts to where I know they see it, that might be very well worth it.
You can target all realtors in a specific city if you want, or certain job titles of realtors or whatever.
I've been, you know what I found, Ted? I really need to dig in their profile a little bit because I'm needle in a haystack, and I'm okay with that. And Perry was promoting a cold email strategy that I thought might work on LinkedIn, but that inbox is a real bummer for my clients on LinkedIn. So maybe if I'm doing the same thing, but just boosting it into their feed, maybe that's the ticket.
Yeah. You can test that or test the sponsored in mails. The sponsored in mails let you have a call to action button. Instead of just an in mail, you're just sending a message saying, reach out to me if you're interested.
Yeah. Which the cold email strategy is pretty blunt. It's, hey, this is what I've done for this person. Like, I helped Ted boost his sales, blah, blah, blah. And this is how we did it. Here's the testimonial. Are you interested? I mean, it's just real straightforward.
That'll work. Because I just saw one the other day that the headline was, is this a fit? ? And they went to him. We're looking for people, like you just said, very specific. And I responded, I just want to see what they're offering.
Okay.
So we'll see. I have a call with them tomorrow.
That's interesting.
But yeah, if you start, the headline is really important. Is it a fit? Something like that.
Yeah.
And LinkedIn says the headlines have to be really short.
Mm-hmm.
Just a couple words, and then get into a very direct message right there.
Yeah.
Hey, we're looking for
the
people.
cold email strategy the guy said the same thing. It's like super short headline, and don't fluff them up too much, right? Like maybe say, hey, Ted, I noticed that you are a blah, 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 blah in your profile, and this fits with what I'm offering because, like,
they didn't even say anything about the LinkedIn profile. They said, we're looking for people, business owners or whatever. So they didn't get into that. There's more about, because that kind of gets kind of creepy. Since I'm looking for people like you, or we saw a notice in your profile. You.
I was stalking you last night.
Well, I saw something. I saw a headline of yours when I was looking at your profile. So tell me about legally stealing data from LinkedIn.
Legally stealing data. Yep. That was one of my emails. I don't remember actually what I wrote. It was like a couple months ago.
No.
But it's about, the scrapers. That's what it was. It was an article about LinkedIn trying to stop people from scraping. And there was a lawsuit, and LinkedIn actually lost it.
Oh, wow.
Because LinkedIn, you have a private profile for people you've connected with or people logged into LinkedIn, then a public profile that shows up in Google. So this company was scraping the public data off Google, and LinkedIn lost the lawsuit.
LinkedIn wanted to stop them from doing that?
Yeah, but even though they're letting it go out public, I see protecting when you're logged in data. That's your proprietary data. But if people want to let their public data go out.
Yeah, I'm always surprised at the people who are all up in arms and complain about their privacy, and yet their phone numbers on their Facebook page, their email addresses on the front of their LinkedIn. Like, you gave me the information yourself.
All that data has been stolen many times already.
Yeah.
I mean,
if the Chinese haven't hacked you yet, it's because you don't have anything that's hackable.
We got the Chinese,
you don't have anything you want.
The Russians, we got them. Everybody's after us.
Yeah. Interesting.
I got nothing interesting, so.
Right.
Yeah, so my partner believes there's no privacy anymore.
No. Zero. There is no privacy.
No.
Somebody knows what color underpants I have on right now. I don't know who it is, but they know.
See, you're going to get DMs now. You're going to get DMs now.
Yep.
That's it. And pics.
All over.
That's what you're going to get.
The pink polka dots. And
I'll let you know if it comes from the CIA or the NIA, right?
Right.
NSA. Yeah. What is it? I said that wrong. NIA is Network in Action.
Do you know Susan Rowan? Have you ever heard of Susan?
No.
She wrote a book. It's out more than 25 years ago now. How to Work a Room. I bought it at least 25 years ago, and it tells you how to go to a networking event and engage with people, start conversations. And the stuff still works if you apply it online now. She actually wrote an online version, but she sold over 1 million copies of that book.
Wow.
A few years ago, when my Ultimate Guide to Twitter for Business book came out, I was speaking at a local networking event, and she comes up to me, introduced herself. Said, I wrote How to Work a Room, blah, blah, blah. I said, I've read that book. It changed my life. And we became really good friends. And we have coffee together and stuff. But she says it was all about building relationships. And reach out to your friends and goes, hey, how you doing? Haven't heard from you in a while. People appreciate that these days. There's so much crazy stuff going on in our lives.
Yeah.
It is.
Just have an old friend reach out. Hey, how you doing? If you ever need to talk, here I am. And stuff
So what you're
works
saying,
really
Ted,
well.
is the best LinkedIn advice you can give us is be a nice human.
Isn't that sad? You have to tell people.
You mean texting isn't enough? I just can't text you a heart emoji and
Right.
that's it, and we're done.
You do have to ask for the sale, but don't start it too early in the conversation. There's timing involved in a sale.
Yeah.
Like, don't
be
ask,
done.
are you married?
Right. What color underwear are you wearing today?
Yeah. What
That
is it?
blows people away too. I like to have fun on LinkedIn and joke with people, and some people don't get my sarcasm sometimes.
Okay, that's it. That's a shotgun rack for me. If you can't get my sense of humor, we're not going to be able to really work together that
You're
well.
pre-qualifying your customers right there.
Yeah. Right.
No, it's simple little things. It's humans doing business with humans. Or having conversations with humans.
Yeah.
It is. It is. Well, Ted, hey, want to be respectful of your time, and we're nearing Joe Rogan territory.
Should I start swearing?
You can swear on our podcast. It's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Eat a couple of THC gummies, and it's we're
We
on
have
our
not
way.
had that kind of happy hour yet.
Well, Elon will bring his joints with him. So.
Oh dear.
That dude's got to be smoking something.
Oh.
Oh, I love the email about telling folks to come back to their office.
Yep.
I missed that one. What happened?
He it was leaked. He said, come back to the office, or you can pretend to work somewhere else.
Yeah. 40 hours a week, not just come back to the office.
Right.
He wants everybody
Right.
back 40
It's not
hours
come
a
back
week.
to visit. We're doing 40 hours a week here
Wow.
at Tesla. Then he laid off 10% of his workforce.
Yeah.
What, about a day later?
And
Yeah.
about 10% quit too.
Right.
Well,
But-
the millennials, they're going to do what they're going to do.
That's my kids, both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're about what, about 30, 28?
30 and 33.
Yeah.
There you go.
And the Gen Ys, which is what my guy is, he's 24. Their Gen Ys are like 18, 25 or so.
Yeah.
They won't even tell you they'll quit a job. They'll just won't show up.
Wow.
That blows my mind. But it's I've seen it happen to people. It's funny. Alberto, my husband and I were talking about the campus where he worked before he retired yesterday, and he said every place in that campus was wired. If you wanted to go sit out under a tree with your laptop, you were still connected. You were still connected to the VPN. Everywhere you went, there was no space. I didn't ask about the bathrooms, but there was no space you couldn't go and take your stuff and work
Wow.
in the whole campus. 10,000 person campus.
That's
Coffee
right. Know your
shop.
audience, who you're looking for, who you're trying to sell to. Like some
Yeah.
of my LinkedIn expert competitors are like 25. One woman has 650,000 followers. And she posts videos of her in her bikini by her pool. And she says, I can help you create engaging videos for LinkedIn. And she's bragging she made $1 million last year. But I don't go after that crowd that would be attracted
Right.
to her. Because my crowd is over 50. We've all been in the world before the internet. And it
Yeah.
works. is so much easier than trying to pretend I'm a hang out in my bikini and by my pool. I don't know. Could chase away a lot of people.
It's like nobody wants that. Nobody
Well,
wants
some
that.
people want her, obviously.
Right.
But
So-
the again, it's being true and authentic.
Yes.
Now, that is something from that particular group that is real about the authenticity.
Yeah.
And who are you speaking to?
Mhm.
And they'll find you the voice. So had someone I worked with before. The mantra was, who is not being saved because you're not putting your message out? Who did you miss saving because you didn't put your message out?
Right.
So you may think you're crying in the wind on YouTube and LinkedIn, but there's somebody out there that's going to hear you.
The right people will find you.
Because
Yeah.
believe it or not, those algorithms are pretty good at matching you up.
It's
Eventually.
terrifying, isn't it?
It is. It is. You know, please don't go look for something and then you'll see it forever. That scares me sometimes. What? I didn't type that in. I was thinking about it, but I didn't type it in.
Your phone heard you thinking about it.
So,
Oh, isn't that creepy when you start seeing ads of something you were talking about near your phone?
Oh, these guys. Now they say that Apple is not, the iPhone is not, but these Androids, this is a listening device.
Oh, Apple does too. We see the ads.
they all do. And the word from a friend of mine, developer. Only search for airline tickets incognito.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, scoopage. Go ahead, Daff. What's
No,
the deal with that?
when you start searching, you say, hey, I want to wherever. You're going to Kayak, Travelocity, any of them, right? Use incognito. Because if you go back to a site, the price will change.
Oh, I've seen that.
Huh.
It's always higher too.
Yeah. So any search, and I bet you it applies to hotels. Because I remember when we were trying to get me to South Beach.
Yes.
So
yes.
Yeah.
yeah.
Great
So
tip.
All right. Hey guys, I will let you go with that because I do have a 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ted,
Well, it's
thanks
great
for
talking
coming.
to you.
Thanks for
Thanks
coming.
for
Hey,
coming
where
on.
can folks find you before you get out of here real quick?
YourLinkedInCoach.com.
There we go. Be sure to get that in the show notes.
Absolutely. In the books. You've got the Twitter book too. I forget about the Twitter.
Yep. That's old. Don't worry about that one.
Okay. Never
I
mind.
think Twitter
People.
hasn't changed much, but
I don't know. That's a wild, wild west out there.
I don't go there. Too
Daphne's a
dangerous for
brave
me.
soul.
Hey,
On the tweets.
Twitter is awesome. Just go in the room, say something crude, and run away.
Get in a fight.
I love it.
Insanity. All right, people, I got to go.
Hey,
Okay,
have a
thank you
prosperous
so
day, you
much.
guys. Bye-bye,
This is
listeners. We're out of here.
Bye.
Bye.